And the headlines big and bold in this morning's papers. George Zimmerman not guilty.
Yeah, same in the Tampa Tribune here. That verdict reached in Sanford late last night, where the trial played out for 5 weeks.
Ryan Rage covered that trial right at the jump there every day. He's live to show us exactly how the community of Sanford is reacting this morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. This is sort of the calm after the storm, if you will. If you look behind me, the protesters, they have cleared out for the most part. I would expect the media that's been camped out here for the last month and a half, they'll start clearing out perhaps today or tomorrow, because this part of the story is now over. But I can tell you the emotion, the division, the strong feelings on this case, that is not over. I want to show you shortly after the verdict came down, this was the scene. Protesters on both sides chanting and keeping strong with their demonstrations. Trayvon Martin supporters mostly outnumbered George Zimmerman supporters in terms of protesters. There was a feeling of disappointment, a defeated feeling, but there was no violence. Nothing got out of hand, at least here at the courthouse. As this was playing outside, another scene was playing out inside the courthouse. Reaction from both attorneys who fought so hard on this case. Take a listen.
You just can't guess before you take a case to a jury how something's going to turn out. So you work very hard, you put your witnesses on the stand, you argue your case to the jury, and then you focus on the law and the arguments, and then you leave it in the hands of the jury. What we promised to do was to get this case in front of a jury and give George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin each a day in court.
I think the prosecution of George Zimmerman was disgraceful. I am gratified by the jury's verdict, as happy as I am for George Zimmerman. I'm thrilled that this jury kept this tragedy from becoming a travesty. For that, we are eternally grateful. But it makes me sad, too, that it took this long, under these circumstances, to finally get justice.
Now, when that verdict finally came down, George Zimmerman had that look of shock on his face. It was surprising, but then again, not all that surprising. We've been here since day one watching every moment of this trial, and for the most part, George Zimmerman showed very little emotion throughout this entire trial. He had that stone-faced look on his face the entire time, that same expression. It took a few minutes for it to sit in and settle in, and then finally he flashed a smile, some relief. He started to embrace his lawyers and his family, and then a few minutes later finally got that ankle monitor cut off and went home a free man after a year and a half. Live in Sanford, Ryan Raish. Back to you guys.